Fabrizio Romano confirms that we are set to sign a striker and centre-back in 2024. To move on, we discuss the latest wonderkid to get linked with our club as we are going crazy for the Swedish MESSI. So my friends, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button, share your thoughts and opinions too. Before we get into anything though, with Christmas and Black Friday sales fast approaching, now is probably the perfect time to buy any Chelsea merchandise involving the new Christmas range, kits, or training gear right now during the next few weeks, my friends. Use my discount code NINI10 to get 10% off your final order. It helps support the channel and you get a nice discount code as well too. So as I said, you'll find all the links below in the description. And to start with things, let's discuss the latest January transfer news. Now, as I keep saying, as we learned a few months back, our co-sporting directors revealed that they are preparing for the next two windows, this January and next summer. So if you guys are a bit bored by transfer news, you have to get used to it because we are still cooking up things behind the scenes. Today, Romano also reiterates the fact that we are set to sign a defender and striker in 2024. Now, it doesn't confirm whether they will come in January. However, expect these positions to be filled within the next few months, my friends. And courtesy of Football London, it seems like the striker we are potentially open to moving for this January is none other than Ivan Toney. Now, we've been linked with him for the past few months. We know that he's part of Kaz Sporting Agency as well too. And as we know, Brentford are open to selling Toney up to the tune of £80 million. Now, you might think to yourself, why are we that desperate to sign a striker? Should we not wait for Victor Osimhen? Now, I agree with you guys, but the club may see things from a different perspective. Nicholas Jackson is set to go to the African nations, and that leaves us with Armando Broja, someone that hasn't been consistently fit so far this season, and that could be a lot of responsibility for someone like a Christopher Nkunku, someone that hasn't even played any minutes right now, and we are still waiting for him to get his first minutes of the season after international break. Now, technically, Cole Palmer could play false nine. That's something I'd be very open to. I think the guy can play in that role and I think he could be quite decent. However, with the pressures to secure Champions League football this season, if we don't get Champions League football, that could dramatically affect the type of deals and business we're hoping to get done over the next two windows. Could our club be forced to make that move to sign a striker this January, and is Ivan Toney the best use of £80 million? Now, I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions, and listen, I'm going to try and be objective. I think one thing that goes in Toney's favour is that he is one of the best aerial strikers in the Premier League. Now, he's not the tallest guy, I think he's like 5'11 or 6 foot, but similar to Didier Drogba, he has the technique in his leap, the anticipation, the timing, how to use his body. Technique trumps over just pure physicality, like having a great leap to begin with. You need to know how to use that in tandem, and Toney could offer us a different outlet in our team. Sometimes when we're playing against low blocks, could it help us having a more direct platform in which he can help link up with his teammates and offer us more direct routes onto goal? That could be the way the club are thinking, and I think in that respect, Toney can lead the line. He can run the channels, he can drop deep to link up with his teammates, and of course be that platform guy further up the field. Now, so far he has been averaging around 20 goals a season for Brentford. However, he is also their penalty taker, but he is one of the best penalty takers in European football. But I guess my question is, when you're being asked to stump up figures up to the tune of £80 million, is Ivan Toney the best use of that money? I've got my opinions. I think it's a very open debate and you guys don't have to agree with me. However, I would probably say no, because if I have to wait in the summer to sign a Victor Osimhen, I'll do that, because I think right now, if we're going to sign any more players for our team, they have to be of star quality. They have to be of that type of class where they can instantly replace anyone in the team right now. I think they're the type of players we need to look towards if we hope to just increase the level a bit more. I don't think we can afford to sign 5 or 6 more players. I think maybe 2 or 3 top quality players, nothing more than that. And to be fair with you, I'm getting a bit bored signing players, to be honest with you. I look at someone like Nicholas Jackson. I do feel like some of the criticism has been quite harsh. I mean, this is a guy that hasn't actually started playing at the highest level until this recent year. And to see the strides he's making in his development, I think his trajectory is very high actually. And Listen, 7 goals and 14 appearances. He's got 4 in the past 2. Yes, it wasn't the most exciting hat-trick against Spurs. However, he did deliver. He scored against Man City. And for someone that is still learning the craft, I think we're seeing even small adjustments and improvements in his game in terms of his movement off the ball, and that was something that was being criticised earlier during the season. Once you give this guy Christopher Nkunku to play with, I think you can add more goal threat and another link that Jackson needs. I just think that when you're seeing the type of level of improvement in his game so far, is having an Ivan Toney, someone that at the same age was playing League One football. Is it not worth just investing in what you have until the end of the season? And if you feel like it still isn't enough, spend the money on someone big in the summer window. If anything, I think Nico's done enough to get looked at for the whole season. And let's see what Bardghji and let's see what Nkunku can add to this team, my friends. So that is the first story out the way. Where do you guys fall in this one? Do you think Toney is the guy we need to sign? Share your thoughts and opinions. And now, my friends, let's discuss a story that I've been waiting to talk about. It involves the Swedish MESSI, and I'm sure you guys saw his performance against Man United vs Copenhagen, where he scored the winner to make it 4-3 against United, and that is none other than Roony Bardghji. Now, if you guys are like addicted to Football Manager, you already know about this guy already, and I'm sure that most of you guys are buying him for your saves over the recent additions. He's recently turned 18 5 years ago, but at 17 years old, he scored 11 goals in 25 games. And I guess regardless of the league you're performing in, when you're producing numbers like this so young, is it any surprise that the biggest and the best clubs are going to follow you, considering that incredible talents are getting produced in the Scandinavian League? My friends, let's discuss the latest reports, and unsurprisingly, we are going crazy over Roony Bardghji. Now, I'm going to give you guys some additional context because this isn't recent interest. We've been following this guy for over 2 years. I'll give you guys the story. Basically, our new head of youth development, Jim Fraser, who now replaces Neil Bath, was going crazy about this guy 2 years ago when he watched him playing an under-19 game for Copenhagen. Now, Copenhagen only recently signed him from Malmö's youth academy, and in the space of 1 year, this guy found himself playing in the academy at Copenhagen, then playing in their first team. It's a reminder that clubs are scouting hundreds of players across Europe. They know about these guys when they're teenagers and they continue to follow them. So it's nothing surprising in those regards. But fast forward 2 years later, and it seems that the club now may be getting tempted in making a move to beat off the rest of the competition over Roony Bardghji. Now, currently he has 2 years left in his deal. His contract expires in 2025. Copenhagen hope to tie him down to a new deal. However, he might feel like he's clocked the Danish league. He's performing in Champions League football. Is there anything left for him to learn now if he remains in the Danish league? I'm not too sure. He'll look towards guys like Kudus, who have made the step up playing in higher leagues, and now they're playing in even better leagues right now. And I guess with clubs like Brighton, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, plus so many other clubs, could all this interest force us into being assertive now and signing this guy? Now, I know what you guys are thinking. We got Noni. Angelo's, performing so well at Strasbourg right now. To be honest, we should have kept Angelo in our squad because he'd be doing special things for us right now. I agree with that sentiment. I definitely do. But I think one thing the club are showing right now is that if there is an exceptional talent that is just beyond their years, who is that good, we aren't afraid to make a move. Obviously, Kendrick Pius is doing beautiful things back home in Ecuador. He'll be very exciting when he joins us. We have another 2 years to wait for that. But is someone like Bardghji just too good to ignore? I mean, listen, as I said earlier, irrespective of the league he's playing in, the guy knows how to find the net, and he's a teenager. Getting double digits for goals. It's not the first time he secured that. That's 2 seasons in a row now. He's now doing this in European football as well too. And the fact that he's displaying that ability to be a match winner. A lot of times these players, they have the skills, they have the ability. You'll see that in training, but to apply that skill set, in the pressure cooker environment, like, a 90-minute game, not everyone can translate that skill from training to what's happening over 90 minutes, right? So for a teenager this young to not be phased, that can win games for his team, that can affect the game, that does the right actions in the final third this young, I think this is definitely a talent you need to pay attention to. And, You know, he's getting the Messi comparisons for very good reason. You know, low center of gravity. You know, the ball is like glued to the outside of his left foot. Of course, little like drops of the shoulder, the little dummies, the little spins, Cruyff turns. I'd say he has a little bit of like a Hazard too, in the sense that he can protect the ball. He isn't afraid to do a little step over or a little shimmy. You know, he has a lot of exciting talent and potential around him. You guys have been seeing the clips for yourselves. So I guess to end with the story, because I don't think this will be the last time we discuss Roony Bardghji on this channel. Share your thoughts and opinions on the player. Is he someone we should make a move for? Or is this overkill at this point in time? So my friends, let's now end things quickly with the final report. Very quick one, but ever since we acquired Corinthian scout and Alisson Marins, is it any surprise that we are now linked with every exciting teen talent coming out from the Brazilian league? Absolutely not. We have another story today, and we discuss Fluminense 16-year-old striker in Matheus Reis. Now he hasn't played for Fluminense right now. However, he has been on the bench for a few games. He's only 16 years old. He was doing bits for the Brazilian under-17s, but they won the South American under-17 title, and he played the star leading role. So when you're doing things like that, it's no surprise why scouts across Europe are going to be following you. Now, Fluminense, you know the talent they have. Reports described him as a mix between Gabriel Jesus and Leonardo from Santos. And it's actually funny because we looked at Leonardo before we signed David Washington. Let's see what happens with Washington though during this January window. And unsurprisingly, clubs like Liverpool, Arsenal, and a host of other clubs, they're paying attention to this kid. They're holding contacts, they're talking to his agent. And with the talent that Fluminense have, they've slapped on a €50 million release clause. Now, most times, most clubs aren't paying anywhere near that amount of money to sign talents from Brazil. But it's quite exciting that with this new scout we have, he is giving us like a bit of an advantage now when it comes to competing for Brazil's top talents. We came very close to signing Endrick. In the end, the money was just too much. I guess we didn't want to commit like nearly like over 80 million in terms of like getting the Endrick deal over the line. And with us being potentially close to signing Moscato, which is a very interesting move, let's see what happens with Reis. Now, listen, just because we're scouting him doesn't mean we're guaranteed and set to sign him. But one thing I like about these stories is that it does reveal the type of players and talents that are being scouted. And if anything, it will put you on to talents that you'll probably hear about over the next few years. Like over the course of this channel, I've spoken about many talents before they became big names. For example, Erling Haaland, when he was doing things back home. And, you know, we were looking at him during his exploits for Norway's under-21s. So, listen, we're not going to sign every talent that we're linked with, but it still gives you an idea behind what the scouts are doing and tells you the type of talents you should be paying attention to as well, my friend. So right now, that is the end for today's news. Share your thoughts and opinions, and of course, don't forget to use my discount codes and links to make sure you guys get your Black Friday deals or all your Christmas gifts secured. I'm the FC. This is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.